When you listen to a lot more stories about partnerships, more seem to fail than succeed. At what point did you decide it was time to get partners?
The people who succeed are those who can identify talent even smarter than them. I think business, the way I know business over these years, is a team sport. Pegging success to money is something I've learned over time, kwamba it's not what I want to do.
What's one thing about work that you wish you had known years ago?
The earlier we establish your cash flow, the better. But some people who are good with money naturally, kwenye biashara wengi, hela ambayo iko benki ndio faida yao. Hajawaza madeni, hajawaza miezi ambayo ni low season.
What's some really terrible advice you've gotten?
I think the first one is
our guest today reminds us that when you are at the edge of your comfort zone, hapo ndo kuna hela. So komaa nayo, push through it, embrace the fear. In this episode, we get to hear from a very interesting young man about jinsi ya kuishi, jinsi ya kufikiria, lakini pia jinsi ya kujifikiria katika hayo maisha. Mgeni wetu wa kutupiga msasa siku ya leo ni Baraka. Every once in a while, tunapokea feedback kwamba podcast yetu ni ngumu kumeza. Ila sasa, tunafanyaje? Maana uhalisia wa stories za watu waliofanikiwa, ukiangalia na ukidadisi na ukiwauliza maswali mazuri, unagundua kwamba it wasn't easy. Kuna ugumu ndani yake, kuna sacrifices ndani yake. Na ndio maana tunaendelea kukukaribisha kwenye msasa, where we talk to successful people about failure.
Baraka, karibu Msasani.
Asante.
Pun intended.
Msasani.
Yes, it is. Msasani.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Thank you. We're in season 3. We've always wanted you as a guest. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, are you surprised?
I was not surprised, but I was hoping for it. There are times I would look at the other guests. I'm like, I would hope one day I can be on that seat as well.
Really? That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's nice to know.
So I'm happy to be here as well.
Yes. And why? Because we do have a preference for entrepreneurs. Simply because even the concept ya kuwa mjasiri wa mali inahitaji ujasiri kwanza. And that comes with a lot of facing your realities, facing your fears, doing things even if you don't feel like doing, doing the work even when it feels like work, because sometimes it feels good to do something that you're enjoying, and especially something that you're good at. But sometimes it just feels like work. And so whenever we get a chance to speak with people who've been in business for a couple of years, tunafurahia kwa sababu kuna misasa mingi sana tunapata. Na msasa wenyewe mara nyingi unakuwa sio tu wa kibiashara, bali wa kibiashara ndio, lakini jinsi ya kuishi, jinsi ya kufikiria, jinsi ya kujifikiria wewe kama ambaye yuko kwenye steering wheel. We meet people who are at stages where they're ready to let go of that steering wheel. And what that evolution means for them. But more importantly, the evolution that comes with just year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, and especially kama ulikuwa umeajiriwa before, kabla hujaanza kujiajiri mwenyewe.
Yeah.
So I guess one of the things I'd like to hear from you is what's one thing about work that you know now that you wish you had known years ago, because it would have helped you avoid so much pain?
First, thanks for having me. Thing about work. So just to give you some context.
Yeah.
I've been working for as long as I remember. Yani nimetoka kwenye familia ya wafanyabiashara. In the sense that toka nikiwa secondary school, Form 1, Form 2, on weekends would go to office with my dad, and then akawa anajaribu kunionyesha njia ya biashara hapa na pale. So one thing about work that over the years, even now 10 years into my own businesses, etc., is that I've learned to embrace fear. I've always had some sort of anxiety when you're approaching new situations, some sort of hofu fulani kwamba what if it goes wrong? Especially when you have people relying on you, unakuwa una huge expectations of yourself, people expecting things from you, that's ka fear, that's ka heartbeat that goes up when you are about to sign something. Over time, you stop fighting it. Because I used to fight it. I used to be like, why do I have fear? I often know other business people looking very confident.
Yeah.
And I want to hope for. And I would always dream, I want to have a reality with no fear. I want to have a superpower where there's no fear ever in my life. Naishi carefree. But then I've come to learn over time, kwamba, when I feel anxious about something, when I'm scared of that, that's where I need to be. That is now the edge of my comfort zone. Sasa hapo sasa ndio kuna hela. Because ina maana kuna wengine pia waliogopa kufanya hichi kitu.
Wakaishia.
Wameshia. Sasa mimi hapa nivuke tu. And the affirmation I get from that is I look back at moments 5, 10, 15 years ago when I thought it was the worst day of my life. I was so scared. But now I'm like, I had to go through that because I've learned. So maybe in the future, this fearful moment, which I'm embracing, will be a lesson. So I should just cross this bridge here. So that's the main thing. How do I embrace fear and make it part of me and give it and the wind behind my sails, per se? Yeah.
Again, is there a life without fear?
The more I listen, the more people I talk to, I don't think kuna maisha bila fear, and I think it comes in the territory. And if you're going to push boundaries, if you're going to get out of comfort zones na kujaribu vitu vipya, lazima tu kuna ka hofu. Na wale ambao wanasema hawana hofu, then they fear things that you don't see. So mtu yuko tayari ku jump out of a plane. So maybe their fear is something else. Their fear is missing a mortgage payment. You know, so yani, I think hamna maisha bila hofu.
Yeah. Hofu ipo. So I guess it's more about embracing it, not saying that it doesn't exist.
Yeah, running from it. Savannah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think we attract who we are or who we're avoiding?
That's a good one. I've never had to think about it. Do we attract who we are or who we're avoiding? I think we attract who we are. In my view, you have to be intentional with it. Like, for example, I've known you ukubwani.
Yeah.
So we're not those friends who grew up together.
Yeah, we're not bonded by history.
Yeah, by history. Lakini we've kept in touch consistently, professionally, personally.
Yeah. Because
I believe there are a lot of similarities that keep us attracted to each other in that context.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to think, unless you don't want to, but naturally you attract people who are like you. You know that saying, birds of a feather? Yeah, so I don't think I attract people who I don't want to be. I actually don't see that with me.
But you know, that's not the same thing. Because birds of a feather doesn't mean it's a nice thing.
Really?
No, it doesn't necessarily mean. Because what if... when I was getting married, around that time, nilipata ushauri moja ambao nadhani ni ushauri mzuri. Kwamba, if you're going to be married, make sure you have a lot of married friends. Yeah?
Good advice.
Yeah?
Yeah, I agree.
As opposed to unmarried friends, because then one, you can't relate, schedules will always be misaligning, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But there was in my opinion, a hole in that advice in itself. Because what you do sounds good. Like, I feel like the second layer should have been, in which maybe if nitamwambia hicho kwamba, okay, make sure you have people who are doing well in their marriage.
Okay, yes.
Who are enjoying it.
Yes.
Because why? Why? Because sababu, if as long as the kigezo is just other people who are married, then you can see with people who just bitch about them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, guy, we have nothing else to talk about.
Okay, yeah. No, I agree. I see there's a nuance to it. Yeah.
So in that regard, if you say we attract who we are, what if I'm the bitch? So
exactly.
Attracting
in
plural.
You're attracting the negative side of you. Like, I see that. You know, as I grow older, ningependa ku assume bado mimi ni kijana. So there's a lot.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
Yeah.
I'm 34. I turned 35 December this year.
Okay.
But I would like to think that, you know, there's decades and decades of experience I can learn.
Yeah.
My circle has become much smaller. And when you talk about attraction, I'm talking about, you know, people who I hang out with, associate with.
Yeah.
And I find it becoming smaller and smaller. I don't know if it's healthy. Time will tell. But there are times I look at makundi, people in groups, like not even like social groups like jogging clubs or vikoba, but just people who you can call up. If you've got 10 friends, you can call on a Sunday, say, hey guys, come over, let's have a barbecue. And then it's the same people over and over. I try to wonder, am I missing out on that? Because the people I have, we meet, we're tight, but mara nyingi we're bonded with maybe business, we're bonded with family, siblings, etc.
Yeah.
But, I'm trying to think, okay, maybe I need to put in more effort to find the right people to be attracted to. It's just there, but not yet in a priority to me, I guess. Yeah. So
yeah, I guess I would underline the maybe because if you think about again business, most people who look like they're doing well and some who actually are doing well. There's a consistent element of time. They've been doing it for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years.
Yeah.
Dude.
And it's natural at some point.
Unaelewa, it gets natural at some point. Ndio maana mwalimu ambaye amefundisha muda mrefu, yani unamwamsha saa yote anafunguka na haingii. Ndio wale walimu au malekcha ambao ingegi darasani na notes. Of course haingii na notes. It's been 20 years of the same thing.
They know the curriculum.
They know the curriculum, they know what to teach you, they know the questions you're going to ask before you ask them na kadhalika. So sasa I guess it's a maybe because when is formal relevant and when is it not relevant?
True.
Could it be possible that it's only relevant if your current state is not fulfilling? And then if it is, then formal doesn't matter at all?
I recently had to think about formal. So I can answer that, but in a different context.
Okay.
So when you have friends or people who you are very close to, maybe similar life journeys, labda mmeanza pamoja, mmesoma pamoja, alafu you would expect kwamba mtagrow pamoja, if growth is important to you. And then unakuta sasa ghafla unakuta shoot up, and then they're showing it through possessions, through
sometimes bila tu kujua they're showing it.
Exactly. Yani unajua kwamba okay, huyu ameniacha. And of course kuna ile external influence. Jamaa anakuachaje? Yani wote mmesoma pamoja, everything was the same. And it's even harder kama ni ndugu. Same growth environment. Kwa hiyo sasa ile formal, there was a time when I had to sort of learn how to deal with that formal kwamba, am I missing out on something which can boost success yao? Na mimi huko nimebaki nyuma. And I think addressing that, the whole formal concept in the context of success, in the context of friends and etc., is kwangu mimi kujitambua mwenyewe. What is important to me? Or what is my enough? What is enough success? At what point would I say I've made it? At what point
so how do you define success? So basically, I'm like, how you define success.
I define success?
Yeah.
I think for me, success is being able to work without finding it like a job. And I can explain it. I don't think pegging success to money is something I've learned over time kwamba it's not what I want to do. Hela haitoshi.
Yeah.
The money I'll be earning now is stuff I would dream about ages ago.
Yeah.
And it's a world which overflows. I don't think success to me is about having the most influence, the legacy and everything. Watu wangapi ambao tunawasoma kwenye history books. No, but they're not even there to enjoy that success.
Yeah.
But I think given that I'm quite driven about passion and what I do and work, to me it's a successful state of mind if I can handle a task. For example, kama kuna hii project naifanyia kazi. And fail or succeed is not a job. And I can afford to fail enough times. Kwangu, it's a hobby. So being able to explore that, I would say I'm successful because hapo sasa sijali time pressure, sijali mshahara, sijali income. I'm free to do what I want when I want while still having an active mind. Because nikisema success, kwangu mimi ni kukaa Venice 24 days a month, sifanyi kitu. I know my brain. And it will almost be difficult for me to not think about something to keep me active or to challenge me intellectually. So success is just following my passion, my vision, bila hata kujali deadlines, bila kujali shida, lakini still being active. And of course, kuna yale ya kawaida yale health, family, education, yani vitu kama hivyo viwe stable, lakini binafsi, that to me is success.
Okay. Has that always been the definition of success? Or
No,
is it something that's evolved over time?
It's evolved. It's evolved over time. Kuna kitabu ambacho kime influence a lot of that, kinaitwa Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel. I think it's a very popular book.
Yeah.
Because hiyo ndio inanifundisha kuelewa kwamba the first point is knowing you're enough. Knowing you're enough. Kwa mfano kama mimi nikikuona wewe Elisha unafanikiwa, unafanya vizuri. You do so well, you create a product, you sell it for millions of dollars. I shouldn't feel kama vile mimi nimepungukiwa. Because I've met my enough. So, and over time I came to learn kwamba the sooner you know you're enough, then the sooner the noise doesn't affect you. Because there'll always be someone doing better, right?
Yeah, there'll always be something that's someone or something that sounds cooler than what you're doing.
Of course.
Yeah.
And the numbers are crazy. Hata ukisoma huko ma Silicon Valley, I think the other day nilisoma an article where Mark Zuckerberg his net worth ilipanda $28 billion in one day. And you ask yourself, imagine if that was a person you were aspiring to beat.
Yeah.
So that was a big impact for me, kwamba what is my enough? And early on establishing it, kwamba nikifika hapa, yanakuja yote ni baraka za Mungu. Ni baraka, lakini
there's a milestone to hit.
Yeah.
And then that milestone.
Yeah.
So what do you do when the milestone keeps moving? Because the goalpost keeps moving.
Yeah.
Or you can be so specific about that enough that it doesn't move. Like more is just more, but it doesn't have to be more than this. Is that what you mean?
Yes. I'll give a live example. I'll tell you more about me and what I'm doing right now.
Yes.
So I started, as you know, I'm an accountant.
Yes.
I run an audit firm.
Yes.
I was 9 years old this year.
It's 9 years.
9 years old,
Wow.
yeah. So
Okay.
I resigned from my job in 2016 February, 2016 March, April. The date is arguable. We're still trying to figure out when our anniversary is. Some say August, but
We had to pick a month.
yeah.
It's just like, you know what? We were born in June. It's fine.
Because Brella says a different date.
Yeah.
So at that point, if you were to ask me what my enough was to be able to replace my paycheck with what I'm earning at the firm.
Right. You were.
Yeah. So nisiwe na ile again FOMO.
I'm missing out.
You know,
I
missing
could have
out.
just kept the job.
Yes. Okay, yeah. So that was the first part. And then as I got married, I'm married, I have a kid, 3 years old, a boy. The enough changed. And now I need to work enough to have a steady income where my son, hata kama mimi sipo, even if I'm incapacitated, he's good.
Yeah.
Education-wise, health-wise. So, and now you cross that milestone. So right now I'm in a phase, now to answer your question, how do you know you're enough and has it evolved over time? So sasa hivi nimefika sehemu where I've ticked all the boxes, and I'm very privileged to be able to say that because it's not a story many people can have. I've ticked all the boxes that even now my current job, the passion wavers. And I even tell my friends, I tell my clients, kwamba the problem you're bringing me doesn't excite me enough at the moment, so I can help you, but I can recommend somebody who can go fight tooth and nails
For this.
I can do the architecture, the structure and everything. Lakini ile kukesha usiku mpaka saa 10 asubuhi, I don't have that in me right now to pick up that phone call. So I had to find another challenge that would get me there.
Get you excited.
And that is now Simplify, the tech startup. Yeah, so you're right, it evolves over time. I would like to say for many people who are ambitious and trying to go get, there is no finish line. So I guess it just changes. Hence why my definition of success is where I can just afford to keep doing that. If I fail, I failed. I don't lose sleep over it. Naendelea tu.
Okay. Yeah. So basically success is freedom.
Yeah. In one word, freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom.
And then the freedom is, now you decide what freedom means to you.
Mm-hmm.
For some people it can be, we had a guest the other day, and their definition of freedom is very explicit. Not to work.
Yani kabisa
hataki. So not to have to, not to.
Kabisa.
Yeah, I just want to wake up, and I'll plan my day after I've woken up. And that's the freedom that they desire and aspire. And they kind of already have.
That's
so good for them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess now it's just defining what freedom is for you. In your case, for instance, if I've understood you, freedom is one, to be able to work on things that are mentally stimulating and exciting, as opposed to having to do something else that maybe isn't as mentally stimulating.
Spot on.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. So
it might change, by the way. It might change.
Of course.
Yeah. But
of course.
right now, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. So I've been trying to educate myself a lot about financial vehicles. Things like, you know, treasury bills and bonds and mutual funds and, you know, chungulia DSC kuna nini na nchi zinginezo. Things like crypto, not so much. It seems a bit too technical for me at this point. I just want to get like the basics of, these are what financial vehicles look like. Even insurance products, because there are insurance products that have the insurance, but then after the fact, there's also a gain to it, right?
Yeah.
And I had to find someone. Luckily, there's always somebody somewhere. If you look good enough, yani kuna mtu ulisoma naye la pili, yuko CRDB hapo, yani unamtafuta, mwanangu, tunachukua chai. Yeah, and then nikaongea na mshikaji, tukaongea, tuliongea. Hey, I don't remember the last time I had such a long conversation sober with another young man. It's like the same age, like the age mates. Tuliongea kinoma. So it was because it was just like all over the place. And it was like, look, my professional opinion, I think where you just want peace. Yeah, I don't think you actually care about freedom. I was like,
really?
But it's called financial freedom. It's not called financial peace, bro.
Yeah.
But I did argue.
Yeah.
I had to let him go. Now I'm hearing it again, and then I can't help but wonder, is freedom and peace the same? Or is it not? Because doesn't freedom give you peace? Like a certain calm that is, you know what, this is how I'm going to choose to do this thing this way, but also because I guess I can. And so there's a piece to that. Yeah. And just to give you more context, his background has been in brokerage. So he's working in brokerage firm Mbalimbali, and he's still technically in that space, just working for a bank now. So the conversation was largely about money, right? It wasn't just like everything and not peace at work. It was about money. And then I guess he also asked me that question, like, do you have an enough? Like, is there a point in which if this is all you ever get to, you would be at peace with that? And I also have this elaborate response. I'm like, you know what? I've layered it. I've got 5 levels. Yeah. And I've got this, and this. So it was like, so your enough is the lowest one. So that means it looks like you just want a certain kind of peace because of whatever it is that you do for a living that doesn't give you that peace.
Every once in a while, tunapokea feedback kwamba podcast yetu ni ngumu kumeza. Ila sasa, tunafanyaje? Maana uhalisia wa stories za watu waliofanikiwa, ukiangalia na ukidadisi na ukiwauliza maswali mazuri, unagundua kwamba it wasn't easy. Kuna ugumu ndani yake, kuna sacrifices ndani yake. Na ndio maana tunaendelea kukukaribisha kwenye Msasa, where we talk to successful people about failure.
If I can answer, if I can share my thoughts, I'll need to look at there's a dictionary definition. I don't know what those say, but I can be at a state, like right now, I'm free. I can say that I'm free to do most things I'd want to do, but then there are times when I'm not at peace. So I don't necessarily think that when you have the freedom,
you necessarily have peace.
I have peace. I don't know what that means, but I can sort of say that for myself. And what would make me not be at peace? Maybe I'm free to even wander around and drive wherever I want to go. But maybe knowing that there's a family member who is really unwell and I cannot do anything about it, it takes away my peace.
Absolutely.
So maybe freedom is an internal state of an internal state, and peace is a macro state. I don't know.
Oh, isn't it the other way around?
Good. Oh, peace is an internal. Oh, yes. Oh, good one.
Right?
Yes. Peace could be an internal state, and freedom is the stuff. It's the external state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about Cassian and Associates.
Yeah.
9 years. Wow.
Yes.
That means you started at what? 23, 24, 25?
2016, I was 25.
25.
25. I started.
And had you worked before that?
I had worked, yes.
Kwa muda gani?
Nilifanya kazi for 4 years. 4 years as in the same sector.
Uh-huh.
And before then, when I was at uni, I was also working half-time in the university itself. Yeah, so I was...
Same accounting, audit?
No, I was a housing assistant. So, the dorms where like students stay, bweni.
Uh-huh.
They would appoint students and pay them to run the office, to run the admin and stuff.
Okay.
And then even before that, I used to work for my parents, so in a family business. So
you sound kama mtoto kindi, safi sana.
yani I think mzee alijifunza kwa Waindia.
Safi sana.
Yeah.
Safi sana. Kwa hiyo umeweza kufanya kazi tangu chuo. And then after chuo ndo kaingia immediately into accounting.
Accounting employment, yeah.
All right. It was in consulting?
I was in consulting. I was for one of the big four. KPMG. Niko na KPMG.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then a couple of years down the line, you decided to branch out and do your own thing.
Do my own thing, yeah.
Why?
I don't think, at that point, it was not even part of the plan, to be quite frank. Because when I was with KPMG, they took care of me.
Okay.
It was corporates, security. There was a very clear path. If you meet these 20 goals each year, unakuwa promoted, and you're seeing the system working, etc. And it was in a foreign country. I was in Australia working for KPMG.
Okay.
So you have that foreign paycheck, which ukisafiri kuja Bongo, it's
enjoy.
Yeah, unaenjoy vizuri too. I had loans, mortgage. Yani, I was in the system deep. But then, kuna siku, I'm very privileged because, my parents were very, very close with me, and they still are. And wakaja kunikumbusha kama Baraka, ndio ulikuja kukusoma, kuchukua knowledge na kurudi nyumbani. Lakini the more we are seeing you, the more unapotea, paka accent inaanza kubadilika. So that's stuck with me. Alafu wakati ile pia there was a time mzee was unwell. So there was also an emotional, he's okay now, but there was also an emotional anchor there. That's kwa kweli. Unajua, afu kiwaza amewekeza na kila kitu, yani the amount of sacrifices they made for us. So that brought me back here.
Okay.
And then the plan wasn't to open the firm. The plan was to look for a job. So I interviewed with the big four here, even in Nairobi. And I was trying as much as I can to stick
to come back.
To that security as well.
Yeah.
Lakini things sikupata the offer I expected. Kwa nilikuwa nafanya kazi ofisini in my dad's office. Lakini kwa pia, I'd come from a sense of freedom and responsibility to another sense, which it was not yet for me. Kwa in the meantime, nikaanza kusaidia wateja on the side. Yani, huko nafanya kazi huko na clients wangu nawasaidia. Then, over time it's snowballed. Pole pole. Of course, I had a lot of support. And I always tell people kwamba, unajua, usione hizi story kwa face value. Nilikuwa nina mentors, nilikuwa na family friends. I didn't pay rent. I didn't pay for fuel. Then there was a lot of, exactly. Nilikuwa nakaa nyumbani. So there's a lot of stuff that really got me through the first painful 2 years of entrepreneurship. Na, we were one of the lucky ones to have survived those difficult times. Na sasa hivi ndo tupo. About 28 people, 2 offices, 3 partners. Tuko mwenyewe sasa hivi.
Yeah.
So it's been a heck of a journey, man.
At what point did you decide it was time to get partners?
I started seeing the limits of my ability by year 2, year 3. Ukiangalia what we're doing at Cassian, yes, we're providing a professional service, but in other words, I'm selling my time.
Yeah.
Now, inventory yangu, store yangu ina masaa 24 tu. So no matter how much money I want to make or how much I want to grow the business,
you're limited.
I'm limited.
Yeah.
So I either sell the time at a higher rate, which there's a ceiling to that. Kumbuka is your second year in Tanzania. No one knows you. No one can trust you with that portfolio. Or I leverage by getting more resources with the same valuable time as mine. And when I did the maths, I'm like, hapa, I need partners. I need people to also challenge me because I was doing the marketing, I was doing I was the judge, the jurors, everything. But now sasa kupata partners, kitu ambacho kwa kweli kilichukua muda. So I was very lucky. I think 2019 was when I met Isaac, my first partner. Na tukaelewana. We are very different in certain areas, but the vision was quite similar. And paka leo, Isaac Florence, my other partner, yuko based in Arusha. We were able to work well together. In a changamoto, there's a lot of lessons even we are learning through our partnership. Yeah, but when I realized I couldn't multiply myself, partners came in the picture.
Yeah. But when you listen to a lot more stories about partnerships, more seem to fail than succeed.
Yeah.
What do you think are the, like indicators of success or failure in relation to that? Because especially if it's something where you didn't start together. So people are joining in. What does that mean? What does that look like?
It's funny you ask that, kwa sababu hata even my really close friends back then, even now, even talking to our parents, mzee anakuambia Baraka, African partnerships don't work. Yani there's a lot of history there kwenye partnerships.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, hamna stories nyingi za partnerships. Ukiacha hizi family run businesses, the Deuges, etc., where somebody did it with somebody together, wakagrow pamoja. So far ours is working and we're grateful and we really protect that. I think for us, what's been working for us so far ni kwamba outside of the work itself, we try to respect each other. Because only through that, you respect enough to listen to the other person, for you to compromise, for them to compromise. So there's a lot of that happening. The personal respect. Kwa sababu kwa mfano mimi kwenye firm I'm the managing partner. Kwa ninasimamia sehemu ambazo nikifanya maamuzi mabaya ina affect portfolio ya partners wangu. So now having to respect their presence in the company and be like, you know what, nitaumia nisiposaini hichi kitu leo, lakini acha niwashirikishe. So we'll delay the process, but let them have their say. Even if technically I don't have to wait for them to chip in.
Yeah.
Kwa hiyo kuna hicho kitu cha heshima, kuheshimiana. At the moment mnaanza kupotezana heshima, kuchukuliana poa, no matter how big your company is. That's, to me, is one of the fundamentals. Lakini kuna mingine, of course, kuwa transparent, ethics, to be a man of your word, a woman of your word. Lakini ni ngumu. Kwa sababu hatuna role models wengi ambao wanafanya
vizuri.
Lakini
mbona kama hizi consulting firms kubwa, they thrive on partnerships. Like it's almost as if even the corporate ladder looks like to become partner.
Yes, yeah.
And especially in law firms and audit firms.
It's an interesting model. Na kila kampuni na their own agreements, but if you're to zoom out, for example, you use the Big Four here.
Yeah.
If you're to zoom out, they have partners and you want to aspire to be a partner because you carry some sort of financial benefits. You get part of the money you bring.
Yeah.
Lakini they're still controlled by the regulations of the global network firm.
Okay.
Kwa hiyo inasema kwamba ukifika 58, 60 years old lazima uretire.
Yeah.
So there's some sort of katiba ambayo inaongoza.
Yeah.
Kwa hiyo you're not so free as you might think, and kidogo inasaidia wao na hiyo longevity, lakini pia sasa the moment you become a partner unakuta you don't have the control you think you have. You have got to check with Kenya or South Africa for decisions, na hiyo pia inasumbuaga. So it's very tightly controlled, those partnerships. Yeah.
And how do you compete?
How do I compete? Ooh. I like to say I compete with myself. So as far as Cassian goes, when you're competing in the industry, uzuri Tanzania is a very huge market.
Yeah.
It's a very big market. It's just a tough market. So I don't really have to kuchukua ugali wa mwingine for me to grow. A lot of our clients, especially the first clients, were brand new entities. So we were growing together. And they would require other new entities. a lot of our current clients are international companies who have never worked with another firm in Tanzania. So we're the first consultants. So I find that sisi tuna compete na us last year. You know, we're competing with our last bad feedback. How do we make sure it never happens again? If we have to compete with for like one job with another firm, I try to avoid such situations unless labda nimealikwa ku-invite on kufanya on merits, because pia is a small community. Tunajuana wote. Sasa nikifika pale nikianza kusema kwamba mimi nafaa kuliko huyu na maana huyu basi hafai. So I try to just compete internally with what we did last year, if we can be better, and it's worked for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said it's a tough market. What's tough about it if you're not competing with similar size, similar service offering?
So cha kwanza, we try to remember kwenye upande wa business, biashara. If you say you want to become the next KPMG, I say KPMG because I used to work there.
Yeah.
Wale, the 4 partners who made KPMG, I don't think they lived long enough to see KPMG become the giant it is.
Yeah.
So it's a suicide mission. I can... There's no point of me wanting to be KPMG because I know I'll die long enough and I'll die way before it becomes known.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not an aspiration I can practically have.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not so big on legacy to have my name on a building 100 years from now.
Yeah.
So I removed that aspiration in terms of how I approach the market here.
Uh-huh.
Then the other, basically I look for my niche. Kwa naondoa the ambition to become a big player and attracting those big clients. Na wachia eneo lao. And then unakuja kuangalia sasa, okay, why is this a tough market? Wale waliobaki. The awareness around compliance, governance, the investment required to have those systems, they are not a top priority for many entrepreneurs, man. Even myself sometimes in this market. Kwa hiyo kazi yako sio tu kumsaidia yule mteja afanikiwe, lakini pia kumpa elimu, kumwelimisha, na pia kumtafutia mtu kusimamia whatever you are consulting them. So yani ni zaidi tu ya ule ushauri. Ni almost you are their partner in business. Now, how much do you quote for that? Because if you quote too high, they go for the next cheaper option. And if you quote too low, you will not make money from that relationship, you know. So the journey of servicing the clients is much more longer than a more developed environment. Tuseme ningekuwa nafanya hichi kitu Australia. Mtu kabisa ameshajua kwamba this is what I need to do, these are my responsibilities.
Wewe enjoy
just do this, kazi imeisha. Lakini kuna mara nyingi mimi kazi nimeshamaliza, lakini mpaka leo napigiwa simu, Baraka, hebu njoo tuongee. So that's the toughness of this market and the space we're in.
So the space you're in, the toughness is the level of understanding of what needs to be done. Does that come into play when you're trying to, I guess, I hate the word, but I don't know what else. That's the only word in my mind, to justify value.
Dear. Value is, not discretionary, it's subjective. Value is subjective.
Uh-huh.
So wewe kitu ambacho unakiona kina thamani, so how do you go around it? And, you know, there's many ways I've come to learn.
Yeah.
Right now I'm trying to position myself in a way that even before I walk in the room, mtu ameshanithaminisha juu kidogo.
Okay.
So what's my online presence?
Yeah.
Am I a thought leader?
So you're going to lean into perception as well.
Perception. Who has referred me?
Yeah.
Zamani, I thought being the quiet, the meek guy, and, you know, watajua tu mbele safari, watakuja kuona tu.
The work will speak for itself.
I say, no, I've wasted a lot of time. My work is not speaking.
It's not speaking loud enough.
My work is whispering. My work is in a folder somewhere in somebody's cabinet.
Yeah.
Haifanyi kazi.
Yeah.
Lakini hata ukiangalia our community here in Tanzania, the business community, they value referrals quite a lot.
Yeah.
Who have you worked for? Swali la kwanza hata sio umesoma wapi au umesoma nini. Swali la kwanza ni, okay, umefanya kazi, who else who has trusted you before me?
Yeah.
So trying to understand that it was a learning curve, but Nashukuru.
Yeah, we're in a relationship market. Yeah, so it seems, especially when you're not from Dar, you feel it even much more.
Yes.
Yani, you have no idea. Yani, you feel it a lot. You're like, oh, okay, these people are friends. And then, so they've already crossed the first layer. They've broken down the first wall. They're getting into technicality, where you might not even get into technicality, or you're too technical because there's no trust to begin with. Yeah. As somebody who trades time, though, are you, because I'm also seeing that there are people who believe in keeping money in the business, and there are people who don't believe in keeping money in the business. They believe in taking out as quickly as possible, as much as possible, and leaving enough to make sure the business still operates. Which side are you on? And I'm specifically asking for Cassian, the consulting firm, because Simplify is a different product. It's still service, but it's a different, the mindset is even different.
It scales different.
It scales differently.
Nimebadilika. Mwanzoni, I was a strong believer in living as much as I can in the business to grow the business, because I was scared. I was scared kwamba kuna siku nitapoteza kibali, kuna siku labda I'll lose my biggest clients, and I need that armory to survive, to sustain.
Yeah.
And it worked during COVID. As you know, we couldn't do much around COVID, but kidogo tulikuwa tuna 3, 4, 5 months worth of payroll, which would survive those shakes. Lakini sasa hivi, it's a balance. As I'm trying to now look at, to diversify, as I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's the next big challenge? I'm still very passionate about Cassian, and something that I also try to make it clear, no, I've not given up on this, but I'm just not growing it as you'd think I would be growing the business. We have challenges with the labor market. We have challenges there's a lot of pain points. I'm just looking for another sustainable problem. So, na diversify kidogo. Kwa hiyo ninaweka Simplify, ninaweka sehemu nyingine. Even within Cassian, we started doing bonds, etc., just to see if our money can work for us as partners.
Right.
And it's hit and miss. We've lost money in the process. We've made money in the process. It's a work in progress.
As an accounting person, what would you advise your clients? Keep money or don't in the business? As
an accounting person, I say it's dependent. And hear me out on this. Kwa sababu, kama unaona biashara yako, inafika mbali, and think of it as a vehicle, and you're driving this car.
Yeah.
Unaelekea Mwenge, unaweka full tank ya kama unaenda Morogoro au unaweka kidogo, like how much fuel are you going to live in for the journey? Because you also don't want to kufika from Mbezi to Mwenge afu unaacha mafuta kwenye gari wakati they could have been servicing another engine somewhere else.
Car.
Yeah, another car somewhere.
Or another challenge.
Another challenge somewhere. So it starts with your vision, your aspirations. So the moment I knew that I don't want to become another KPMG, then
perspective changes.
Yeah, the perspective changes. I don't need to think about having an office space for watu 500.
Yeah. Because you're not envisioning
watu 500 working for us. Maybe the will of nature, and these things do happen. You might not really want to get there.
And then it happens.
And then you're forced to just keep at it. But, luckily we are quite nimble enough to pivot as fast as we can if we need to.
Okay. Yeah. Somebody was telling me the other day that Karimjee Group, for instance, in Tanzania, have kind of sort of found their enough in the sense that so much so that it frustrates salespeople because they know they can sell more cars. And they're like, no, you've sold enough. Next year. Is there enough for business? That was mind-blowing to me. And I don't know, because I can 100% relate to saying no to clients if you're in consulting because of the limitation of time. And maybe you don't want to scale in a certain way because the opportunity cost blah, 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 blah. You can, kuna changamoto zinginezo. But people were selling physical, it's not even a service. It's a tangible thing. And what?
No. I love their story, man. The Karimjee story. And I can understand why they're doing it based on their story. I was so fascinated by them. They had an author, somebody in Netherlands, write about them. And that book was sold out. Like, you can't find it. So I DM'd the author on LinkedIn. to send me a copy. That's how much help. To me, I have a copy. I can share it with you.
Yes.
Hapa katikati, in the mid-90s, they diversified heavily in agriculture. They had farms in Tangakule. They had so much business activity all around the place. Kumbuka, right now they're about 200 years old. So it's century.
It's 2 centuries.
Yeah, it's 2 centuries, right? Yeah, it's something you cannot even fathom, and they burnt their fingers a lot on those other projects. So I think based on that history, from their experience, they've learned, okay, sisi, enough yetu ni hii hapa. This is what's working for us. But they're still diversifying. It's just on the same vertical, which is also what I'm learning through them, is that, they've opened any Automark,
the Auto Inc,
etc. So they said,
still the same industry.
The same industry, but they're diversifying. Maybe they're thinking if they lose a Toyota contract, what's next? How are they evolving for them?
Yeah.
So, and that's what and that's my takeaway, because I also try to diversify heavily
out of the industry.
Yani, unajua zile unaona zile kwenye Facebook wanasema ununua shamba la miti Iringa, utapata hela in 5 years. I bought into that, bro.
Yeah.
And I lost quite a bit through those areas. I lost focus, I lost money, sikufuatilia. So now anything I do, as a rule of thumb, it has to be in the same vertical. Kama sio compliance, tax, and technology. And technology must support compliance. So zinafuatana. So when you go to a room, you can pitch 2 of your businesses because they're in the same space.
Okay, so do you think you failed in those businesses because they were not your area of expertise?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I failed. I failed because I was both. I went in for the outcome, for the perceived outcome. Kwa hiyo I was sold on the outcome.
Yeah.
Sikuenda kwa sababu napenda sana matikiti maji. Nilikuwa napenda kwa sababu nataka hela.
Yeah. Lakini sasa watu wengi tunafanya biashara kwa sababu ya yes, there's people who love what they do, but
no,
you can't blame somebody who loves the money and they're going for it for the money. It is what it is.
Hence why I say, for me, freedom is being able to do what I want, not caring about the money. That's my... Like even this Msasa.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily your highest income generator, but here we are. So you're embodying that already. The same vertical, having what you do, regardless of the financial incentive.
Yeah. In terms of now juggling 2 businesses, and you mentioned and you've acknowledged, which is a nice thing. Some people don't. I don't know why. I was speaking to a relatively older person who they don't know it, and I think I don't want to ever tell them because they'll feel pressurized. But I look to them as a mentor. Lakini najua huyu mama nikimwambia anakuona kama mentor, she said, I have to be careful. Everything has to be serious.
Don't spoil it.
So I know, asitaki kumwambia. Lakini tukaongea how nikamwambia kwa mfano, mimi sidhani kama there's anybody who's self-made. I think that concept is very, very American, and it makes absolutely no sense to me, because there is no way you can be self-made if you're as big as what people are saying you are. Lazima ulifanya vitu na watu vizuri na vibaya. Lazima kuna mtu alinunua hiyo bidhaa au huduma, if you're an artist, that piece of art, whatever. Like, there is no self-made. It's just somebody... It's just designed in such a way where there's always going to be a head. And so somebody's always going to be seen the most or heard of the most. Au kwenye timu ya mpira, kwa watu kama sisi ambao tuangalia sana mpira, tunamjua mfunga magoli.
Only.
Lakini there's no way mfunga magoli alifunga magoli peke yake. Kuna mtu alimpigia pasi, kuna mwalimu, kuna nini, kuna kipa huko ambaye hafungwi na yeye, timu yao inapanda, si ndio? So in your experience now, working, growing, learning from others, what's some really terrible advice you've gotten?
Every once in a while, tunapokea feedback kwamba podcast yetu ni ngumu kumeza. Ila sasa, tunafanyaje? Maana uhalisia wa stories za watu waliofanikiwa, ukiangalia na ukidadisi na ukiwauliza maswali mazuri, unagundua kwamba it wasn't easy kuna ugumu ndani yake, kuna sacrifices ndani yake, na ndio maana tunaendelea kukukaribisha kwenye Msasa, where we talk to successful people about failure.
Wow, terrible advice. I think the first one is, I was advised a lot, Kuma Baraka, you have to fully trust whoever you delegate to. That's dangerous advice. For example, let me paint a picture. Umepewa kazi, una team chini yako, una watu, na unakabidhi afu unasahau. That doesn't work. Doesn't work. You can trust, but you have to verify. Especially if it's your signature at the end of the document. Yeah. Yani, hiyo kitu kwamba unakaa unafanya business plan yako kwamba nitajiri watu wafu watafanya hivi wafu mimi nitafocus hivi, tafanya tu sales. IT atafanya mwingine na sitaki hata kugusa. Especially if you're a founder, if you're an owner, you have to know a bit of everything. So that was kind of some of the bad advice. Lakini pia cha pili I learned early on cash flow, and this I think it applies across any business, any industry.
Yeah.
Kuna usemi ule wa mali bila daftari upotea bila habari.
Yeah.
It's true. Unajua the headlines zinaongelea sana, company X raised $10 million.
Yeah.
Au company huyu anafanya $1 billion in transactions a year. We look at the revenue, the turnover, and the profit.
Yeah.
Lakini what kills the business is actually never the revenue or the profit.
It's cash flow.
It's the cash flow.
Or lack of it.
Exactly. Kwa sababu unakuta mtu ana orders za milioni 100, lakini hana mtaji wa kuziservice.
Services order.
Kwa hiyo the business is there, but you just don't have the cash flow for it. So I started early on putting my eye on the cash flow. Kwa hiyo hata sasa hivi kila siku mhasibu wote anatumia sisi reports ya cash flow. Ngapi imetoka, ngapi imeingia, what's our balance leo siku tunafunga kwenye account. So then I've got my mini thresholds kwamba hii salio likishuka chini hapa ndio tunaanza kidogo kukaza.
So you also have a threshold in mind that this is where we are safe. Below this, we should be aware before it becomes a bigger problem.
A bigger problem.
Okay.
And I'm quite strict with that. Yani ripoti kichelewa najua kuna shida.
Mhasibu mwenye mhasibu inakuaje hiyo?
Mhasibu, yani mimi ni mhasibu alafu na mhasibu. Sasa si kwenye kampuni kuna financial controller wetu. And you'll be surprised. I actually don't do much of the accounting per se. I used to, lakini I found that having the right person doing that as their job allows me to focus on more, and more leverage things that can grow the business.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said financial controller. It's a very interesting term.
Yeah.
Financial controller is accounting or not necessarily accounting?
It's an accountant, but also with more non-accounting duties.
Right.
Kwa hiyo in the hierarchy kuna yule bookkeeper, yule anaingiza tu data.
Yeah.
Kuna accountant who does the data and the analytics around it, anakushauri. Afu kuna financial controller now, ukimtuma benki ana deal na bankers, ana deal na mikopo, anaielewa, yani ana control all the financial aspects of it. So that's how I view my accountant.
They're supposed to be a financial controller, not just an accountant. Not just bookkeeping. So that means they should also have like an advisory function and actively advise. Okay.
Kwa hiyo sio kwamba ananiambia tu kwamba Baraka, we have no cash flow to meet payroll. Lakini kwamba Baraka hatuna cash flow to meet payroll, lakini nenda benki, ongea na RM wetu, atupe overdraft, and then mimi nitafanya documentation. Au mteja muombe advance. So yani anajua jinsi ya connect all those dots.
Kuna ushauri ndani yake.
Yeah.
Huyo mtu unampata wapi? Huyo ni mtu ambaye unamnurture au yupo hivyo tangu mwanzoni?
It depends with the market. Sasa hii, I don't want to sound controversial, lakini we have a very tough labor market in Tanzania. It's quite tough kwa sababu unajua, unlike our neighbors Kenyans, I've worked in Kenya, South Africa. I'm looking at sub-Saharan African countries. It's very competitive to find talent at a reasonable price point for you and for them in this market.
Yeah.
It's very tough. Use it to, we had younger staff members who were nurturing, were growing to become future leaders. Lakini I think when the government walitangaza kazi, tayari walitangaza kazi 1,800. We lost about 2 people. So how do you compete with that? You know, how do you forecast that? And given that your asset is time, you lose.
You lost the training time.
Yeah, the training time.
You have to redo it all over again.
All over again.
Yeah, it's 100% lost, by the way.
Yeah, else. I know. Now, how you notice when I'm there to report Dodoma Monday and it's on a Friday,
and it's the government.
It's the government.
What are you going to do?
Can't. So and hence why I'm super passionate about Simplify, because now it promises to fix so many of my problems. Hence why I'm going there. Lakini kwa huyo mtu kujibu swali lako ni the best way I found is to nurture them, but it's just really hard. It's just it's hard. It's a problem I don't think many have solved, because you're not also competing with the government, the big players, the banks, the corporates. They have stuff to offer that you cannot afford. Yeah. So that's where we're at.
Okay. And so how do you retain them?
Everybody has their own way. Mimi, I like to believe that kama mimi mwenyewe nishawahi kufanya kazi sehemu ambayo nikapapenda na nikaacha kazi. I have to appreciate that everybody has a journey in their career.
Yeah.
And I used to hate it, but now I'm more than happy to be a stepping stone.
Yeah.
Kukubali kwamba wewe utafanya kazi kwangu na utaondoka one day. And it's actually good. I don't expect you kuzeekea kwangu.
Yeah.
So now that we've set the parameters, what are we going to achieve tukiwa pamoja? And how do you exit without burning the bridge?
Yeah.
Ili wengine wanaokuja wanarithi kitu ambacho hakijaharibika.
They're not coming to fix. They're coming to just pick up.
And then once I establish that and mtu anakuwa confident sasa, anakuwa free around me, then we can set goals, we can set targets and metrics na kadhalika, and just it depends on the generation as well. I'm a millennial. What matters to me is much different from what matters to a Gen Z.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kwa hiyo a lot of our Gen Z staff members like freedom to make decisions.
Yeah.
I had someone text me right now, kwamba on Monday I'm working from home.
Yeah.
You know, being able to take that and trust that they're working from home.
Yeah.
And also, kuna mwingine anakwambia mimi I want every Fridays I want to go and take photographs, golden hour.
Yeah.
You know, so being able to accommodate that.
Yeah.
And making sure your clients can pay for that, because it's not cheap to have that flexibility, because you're not selling that time, right? It's a cost to you. So being able to express that behavior to the clients, waelewe kwamba huyu Friday hatapatikana, kwa hiyo mtafute Baraka.
Yeah.
So
you do timesheets.
We do timesheets.
Do you think they work?
To some extent. Half of my team, I'd like to think they hate timesheets.
They're supposed to.
Yeah.
Timesheets. Who likes timesheets?
They hate timesheets. Kwa hiyo sasa, the outcome you get from people who hate doing timesheets, unakuta there's a lot of time which is not accurate. There's a lot of time creep, time dump. Lakini mimi sasa kama kiongozi wao, I need to be able to account for their time.
Yeah, because you're trading their time.
I'm trading their time. Yeah. So if the time that's kimkataba tumekubaliana, half of it was not productive, I need to address that to make it productive, ili tuweze to be as efficient as possible. So we rely heavily on timesheet on the accounting firm side. Lakini upande wa tech is not working for us. The tech business.
The timesheets are not working for tech?
Yeah, for tech.
Why? Because of innovation?
Innovation. There are times when you realize that the decision, the 20% decision that really brought the 80% impacts, took weeks to develop.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of the tech guys or in marketing, they work when it suits them best, when the mind works. It's like creative.
Yeah.
Like, I've got this technical challenge. The code just won't work. And mimi muda ambao naweza nikafocus ni saa 8 asubuhi.
Yeah.
Kwa hiyo wewe Baraka unaponiambia nije saa 2 kamili asubuhi, I've just pulled an all-nighter. So your timesheet model breaks right there.
I feel like the industries, especially now, with the way the world is moving, where you kind of really need to focus on the output as opposed to traditional hours and traditional... Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah, because I was reading something, I don't remember what it was. There was a line that caught my attention. Nikawa nasema, innovation in its nature is wasteful. So if you're not wasting, you're not innovating.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Whew, that's a painful thing to Be like, hey, are we wasting today?
Yeah, what are we wasting? And you have to have them tagged to just keep wasting. At some point, you have to stop wasting and making that money.
So what does the future of Simplify look like?
Oh, Simplify.
It's a fantastic name, by the way.
Thank you.
It's a fantastic
I don't know how we got it in Braille. I don't know how we trademarked it.
So good. Exactly. How do you even trade the word Simplify? Because it's a word. It's very hard to trademark words.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's English.
I don't even know how, but paka kosota tukaenda. And tukaenda kote where we could trademark something about that Simplify, even the logo, the code. So for those who don't know, Simplify is a invoicing app inatoa receipt kwenye simu.
Yeah.
Na maybe the way I view Simplify. Right now, it does one function and it does it really well. I changed our vision. Before it used to be known as our motto, our tagline was ni zaidi ya receipt, because we not only get the receipts, but you do get advanced reporting, you get reminders, you get something much more than just a receipt. But the other day I changed it to we make entrepreneurship easy. We just want to simplify our software, which ideally is a Tanzanian business. Kama na swali la kikodi, amepata barua ya TRA, aipige tu picha kupitia app yetu. Apate mwongozo what to do next.
Apate support. Basically using technology we have access to now, the AIs of this world, to replace a junior tax consultant. Junior tax consultant. So it's not necessarily analytical, but it is like functional. Functional needs. Okay.
Yani pa kuanzia.
Yeah.
Maana tumegundua wateja wetu wengi hasa kwenye upande wa kasi and they don't even know where to start, unfortunately, when they get that letter or when they get stuck somewhere. Or even just insights. So we have added features recently to not only do your sales, but manage your expenses. So you just scan receipts and akuvutia your bills, your expense data. Afu mwisho wa wiki, you can take out your income and expense reports. Now, that's technically good, but now how do we make it something that the user would actually want to use? We have a feature we've added, yaku share tax knowledge. We call it tax tips, where you get a notification payrolls are due on the 7th next week. So kufanya payroll returns. But then how do we the feature is us catering this feature to those customers with payroll returns. So the future of Simplify to me is to be your business in intelligence in a very simple manner, targeting small business. Wakubwa tunawachia ma QuickBook, ma Xero, ma SAP, ma Oracle. Huko tunapambana huko chini, the underserved markets, which still has a trusty counter book. I don't want to replace the counter book. I just want to be able to enhance that data, that experience, whereby you don't have to pay me hundreds of thousands of shillings for something that my app can do for you. Yeah. So scaling that, that's a challenge which I've not seen people really look at. It's not a sexy challenge, but it's something now that excites me. You know what? If anyone can do it, it's going to be me. I'm going to do it. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Baraka, umepungua. Yeah. Good for you.
Asante.
You look really good.
Thanks for noticing. I was hoping you'd notice. I'm like,
What? That's funny. I'm very jealous, actually, by the way. Yeah.
Don't be though.
I have good jealousy. My jealousy is like, good for you.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, one day, kiko nataka niwe kama, it's not, amepungua, msipungua. No. Yeah, that's projecting, isn't it? Sasa, we have a segment in our show, naitwa Nje ya Boxi.
Okay.
And basically, what we do in that segment is, our show is called Msasa. Lengo ni kuweza kupata msasa fulani. Kitu ambacho tumekuja kukigundua na kukiappreciate kama binadamu jinsi tulivyo tofauti hatufanani. Kuna watu wanaopata huu msasa at different stages of the conversation. However, we also wanted to guarantee msasa unapatikana. And so in these last few minutes, we're going to really, really zoom in on one particular thing. And then if somebody didn't understand the thing you said for the past, I don't know how many minutes, at least they will leave with one nudge. Sorry, one
takeaway, no?
Nugget.
Nugget
of knowledge. How's your?
Yeah.
And I want to talk about a healthy business, right? Tumezungumzia hapo nyuma kwamba mali bila daftari kupotea bila habari, si ndio? Whoever came up with that, because it was very poetic, but also it rhymes. It rhymes, yeah, but it also makes a lot of sense. Lakini pia tumezungumzia jinsi gani we tend to technically look at turnover, revenue, profit and loss. And there are other things that are just as important, such as cash flow, that tunazichukulia kirahisi kidogo. Kuna vitu kama compliance can kill your business. Unaweza kupigwa fine, yani. You start like, why am I doing this? Unaweza kukimbia nchi. True. And then it's all of those things. So I think what I would like to hear from you is, especially for a small business where you don't have, a department here accounting. You might have one person who's helping you with that, or financial controller, or finance person, or you just have consultants. What are the indicators? Or first of all, what are the things that you have to have like a checklist for that will help you assess the health of that business? And hiyo biashara ina afya au ni nene tu lakini si haina afya, au ni nyembamba tu lakini haina afya. Ni vitu gani ambavyo ukiwa umevizingatia, whether unafanya biashara mtandaoni, whether you have a physical product, whether unatoa huduma na kadhalika, ni vitu gani lazima uwe unavizingatia kuhakikisha afya ya biashara yako ipo salama?
Kama naongelea from an external perspective, and I'm looking into that business, and it's a small business. Cha kwanza naangalia the mindset of the founder. First of all, achana na biashara yenyewe. Yule mwenyewe yule run the business, mwenye mamlaka juu ya hiyo biashara. Especially kwenye angle, are they humble and open enough to unlearn and relearn?
Okay.
Because the first thing you don't want to have to deal with, kama mimi nakuja from the outside coming in, ni mtu ambaye anabishana na wewe. Au hataki kujifunza, au haiko self-aware kwamba hajui. Because we have established you have not done this before, or you have not experienced this kama nilivyo experience na wateja wangu wengi. So cha kwanza naangalia yule mwenyewe, are they putting in the time? Mkikubaliana mtakutana, anakuja on time, ana come through, anachukua notes, do they care about that side of the business? Because there's no point of feeding water into a sinking bucket, into an open bucket. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. And using the bucket analogy, najua nimeanza mbali kidogo. Sometimes the bucket may look full only because there's a lot of water coming in. Haoni leakage. When business is good and there's money flowing and checks are coming in, you don't notice the leakage because maji yanajaa na ndoo inajaa. But when the water dries up and the bucket becomes empty, that's when you start to realize hapa kuna matatizo. So the best time to fix those is when there's water coming in.
Not after.
Not after. That's why the bucket is now that founder, that entrepreneur. Yuko tayari kubadilika. So once we can establish kwamba huyu mtu yuko tayari, then we identify the gaps. There's some people who are good with money naturally. They're born in environments where to them hawaogopi hela. Ndio kuna wengine wakiona hela nyingi, yani wanatumia haraka ili zishuke, ili bana hawajazoea kuwa na milioni 800 benki. So akiona mtu 800 anaenda ananunua gari, ananunua nyumba, ili mali ishuke paka alipozoea bila hata kujua. Subconsciously. So then, to understand, okay, how do you view money? Do you view it as a tool, or do you view it as a curse, or do you view it as a problem? So things like those. So now the psychological stuff, and then now when we go to the business itself, the earlier we establish your cash flow, the better. Because wengi nimegundua, hasa wafanya biashara wengi, hela ambayo iko benki ndio faida yao. Hajawaza bills, hajawaza NSSF, hajawaza madeni, hajawaza miezi ambayo ni low season. Yeye anaangalia tu kama mimi na milioni 10 benki, yani hii ni yangu. Kwa hiyo unapomdai hela yako, yani kwake wewe ni kero, because ameshahesabia ile ni faida yake. So knowing the cash flow kwamba ndio una milioni 10 benki, lakini mwezi huu lazima ulipe milioni 7 to so and so for this and that. Vitu kama bima, things you cannot even negotiate.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing, your cash flow, if you even know it. If you don't, ndio unaanza sasa kuziorodhesha, tunamsaidia.
When you say know your cash flow means what? Knowing how much you need to
how much
stay in business.
In business.
Okay.
What is your number?
Okay.
And
how much does it cost you to stay
in business
on monthly?
It is a tough one because you don't realize how people are in denial about this. Hata mtu ambaye anapokea mshahara, ukianza kumwambia aandike matumizi yake yote,
wengi sana hatujui matumizi yetu ya wiki, ya
the
mwezi,
Netflixes, the coffees, the thing. Yani it's an uncomfortable exercise, and we would rather be in denial because it's a tough discussion on, it goes into your personality, how you're spending your money, what you spend it on. Kwa mwingine hata hataki kujua yule mtu ulemhonga yule, yani hataki kumuona kwenye karatasi, unaona. So
lakini kumbe yuko kwenye hesabu
kila mwezi, all that bundle you unapotuma zile, constantly buying, etc. So that's the key step, knowing your number, because that's when you negotiate income yako, there's no way you would logically accept a number lower than that. So either hiyo namba inashuka au unatafuta hela, unapambana ili uwe na surplus.
Yeah.
Mwingine anataka kushauri kwamba basi hiyo kampuni mimi utenga 30% savings, 10% fungu la 10 na nini. But that is like step 3. Step 1, what is your number? Yeah. Know your number. So that's the first thing. If we look at the business, kwenye checklist yetu, of course, there's many other things depending on the business. But what I like to also look at, kama unashajua kwamba una deficiency kwenye labda kwenye hela au deficiency kwenye kitu fulani, find the right person to assist you. Then usiogope kwamba msaada. Unless you are lying to yourself or you're stealing from yourself, hataki mtu ajue uovu wako, but being open. I'll give you an example. In our businesses, I don't remember the last time I went to the bank to withdraw my own money. Kiukweli kabisa. We have the financial controller for that. We have accountants for that. We have assistant accountants. Because I know myself, nikiwa na hela mfukoni, kama leo nimeenda kwa wakala nimetoa 50, I don't know whether that 50 disappears too at the end of the night. Ina disappear. So I just know that sina hiyo control, sina hiyo diligence. I spend money to buy convenience. So convenience is a perception. Maybe haukupaswa kumpa yule mtu this much, but you did because it was in your pocket.
Yeah.
So I have outsourced the cash handling to somebody else who can do it better. Mimi napata tu report. So things like those, outsourcing those sensitive areas. And I think cha mwisho kwenye checklist yangu, zipo nyingi, lakini for me another critical thing kwa biashara ndogo ni to build a knack ya ku identify talent. I think business, the way I know business over these years, is a team sport. And the people who succeed are those who can identify talent even smarter than them. Even if you read biographies of these big, great founders, the Amazons and the Apples, very early on, they're like, you know what, I'm an idiot. Mimi kwa kweli hapa nitaua hii kampuni. Let me get a COO, a CFO, a CTO who are going to run that. Let me just pambana kutafuta mauzo. So I think having that knack to identify those people, it's a knack because it's not natural, but you can learn it. In my checklist of things to look at, even if I'm seeing mengine yatakuwepo tu. We've spoken about compliance, we've spoken about, you can even go into location, we can go into, the type of clients you have, how you deal with stress, how you deal with changamoto, but kwangu mimi hivyo ndo.
So that's what you would look at. You'd look at the founder? The
founder, yeah.
You look at the cash flow?
Yeah.
You look, what was the third thing?
So the founder, the cash flow.
What? Mindset. Smart people. Ability to get out. No, that was the fourth thing. What was the third thing?
So, tunaanza chini. Kuna hiyo, the founder, the cash flow, and also being able to delegate what you're not good at.
Okay.
Yeah, being able to delegate what you're not good at. And then sasa kudelegate si lazima uajiri watu.
Yeah.
The knack
to spot talent.
Yeah, to spot talent. I think that to me is when that's the high level stuff.
I had a very, 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 very intense rant session with the founder. Kama sio jana juzi. It was a very, very long conversation. Yani simu ilipata moto, ikaisha chaji. Ikaichomeka kwenye chaji, tukaendelea it was deep. Akaniambia mwanangu, first of all, I didn't know this, but I finally respect HR. Because I think I'm in the business of HR more than I am in the business of doing this business. And then chapili, the definition of mtu mzuri is very, 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 very wrong. Huyo mtu mzuri inabidi sasa hivi kuanzia leo, mtu mzuri swali la kwanza itakuwa je, ni mtu mzuri kwa mimi? Are they good for me? Based on how I operate. So it was like a whole self-reflection, kujiassess tena upya kwamba first of all ni mtu ana hii na hii sasa hivi, wewe huyu sio mzuri kwangu hata kama ni mzuri kwa mtu mwingine. So for instance, he's not going to take referrals for people.
No.
He's just redesigning how he interviews and hires people. And I thought, okay,
good.
Wow.
Sounds like a very heated but good conversation.
It was so heated, and there was a lot of cussing and prayer as well in the middle.
Where were you in this balance? Were you against the argument, or were you just like the psychologist just listening? And
so first of all, I reached out to them to rant, but I think the moment I reached out, he was ready.
Reverse.
First of all, he was like, dude, listen to me. I listened. I forgot why I called him.
Ningum sana.
Yeah, but it was quite enlightening.
Ningum sana.
Yeah. Baraka, umetubless sana.
Kweli?
Yeah, umetubless sana. Asante sana. Karibu tena Msasani.
I'm happy to be here. Hongereni sana. Hongereni, and I've also have some takeaways as well. So thanks for having me here.
Awesome. Cool.
Every once in a while, tunapokea feedback kwamba podcast yetu ni ngumu kumeza. Ila sasa, tunafanyaje? Maana uhalisia wa stories za watu waliofanikiwa, ukiangalia na ukidadisi na ukiwauliza maswali mazuri, unagundua kwamba it wasn't easy. Kuna ugumu ndani yake, kuna sacrifices ndani yake. Na ndio maana tunaendelea kukukaribisha kwenye Msasa, where we talk to successful people about failure.